Three chairs workshop time. Here we go. You got me. I went through an amazing transition. An amazing transition. I had been in such a state of depression. So many logical, clear motivations and thoughts to end my life, to stop living, to cause the people around me not to have my problems around them anymore, and for me not to have to face all these ugly things of life. Depression and suicide. I had a failed marriage. I just had so many things in my life that had fallen apart. I didn't have a special love in my life at all. It was just really, really rotten time. Intensely deep. I could have easily died by my own hand. I was so depressed that I couldn't even get out of bed to move a sock from one side of the room to the other side of the room. And I went through this transition, and now it's crazy. I am so thrilled to be alive that I don't want one drop of life to be wasted in some kind of secondary way where, like, I'm not using my assets and what I've learned to the highest potential. And I actually feel like I wish I had a couple more lifetimes to live. And I'm realizing that the greatest thing is to actually live together in community with similar precepts and a lot of artistic expression and joy for the purpose of setting wisdom and understanding in the rising generations. I was never interested in being a parent. I was like, over here in this position, I felt like I'm so messed up, I should never bring a child into the world, because if I'm so messed up, how can I lead a child? And also the world is so messed up and I don't have solutions. Why would I bring a child into this messed up world? You know, pleasure and giving pleasure and sharing pleasure is one thing that refreshes you from depression and suicide, various types of pleasures. So in a way, I was living a pretty hedonistic lifestyle, just trying to stay alive, sort of. But when I went through this transition, I found myself with ability and insight and even reflection on my own life, discovering, literally illuminating the areas where I am fine or excellent or capable or, you know, good or wise. So, this transition was overall a discovery that depression and suicide spirits had been camping out on me. And what I did ended up driving those spirits back and giving me the highest spirit guide. Yes, the mind of the strongest spirit, whose mind, theoretically, we're just going to say there's a rumor that there's a highest spirit that actually caused everything to exist out of nothing. Literally like a chess game, halfway through the game, materializing with no people sitting around and no pieces messing off the board, and boom, literally like the universe is like materialized in mid-Big Bang. So we assume that there was a Big Bang, but there actually wasn't. There was just like an instant materialization. So anyhow, I went through this transition, but there was a really big problem. I went through the transition, I received this new heart, new inspiration, new mind. However, in order to maintain this new heart, new mind, new essence, there are things about the me that was here. There are some things that changed dramatically and some things that did not change, and some other things got illuminated. Like there's areas where my buttons are pushed or where I'm weak. And as a good entrepreneur, I love to look at the downsides first. If we're going to start a pizza parlor, It doesn't matter that your grandmother loved yellow and you wanted to have a pizza parlor with yellow painted inside. If you don't take the time to understand how pizza parlors go out of business, then you might have a nice pizza parlor with a yellow interior and actually not make any money. So you've got to figure out how pizza parlors go out of business. Study that thing and strengthen those areas where you might go out of business. And then think about your happy menu and colors and all that kind of stuff. First, you work on the downsides. Okay? Now, the people who helped me get into this transition from over here to over here, they were actually not following a lot of the rules and precepts about this transition in order to keep a person in this strong and refreshed atmosphere. And I'm telling you right now, the problem of a lack of maintenance and a lack of the primary precepts all being set in place has been a troubling thing in my life and a downfall. Yes, I have actually brought trouble on myself through unwise choices, etc., etc., etc. But the worst thing has been there has not been an atmosphere of agreement with peoples on a list of really sweet, fascinating business precepts of how to operate with the human soul, the invisible spirit realm, the highest spirit, human spirits that are in bodies and human spirits that are no longer in bodies, and the whole mechanics of the spirit realm. So if you're interested in any of this stuff, if you have a touch of curiosity about the afterlife or the parallel realm, come on in. Because it is my desire in Bartow, Florida, to create a small bundle of people and a growing bundle of people that are not just working on this transition from darkness to light, empowerment, but an atmosphere of maintenance that follows the original precepts, as well as the highest spirit guide who's giving immediate guidance. Because when the highest spirit guide gives immediate guidance, that highest spirit guidance can easily be counterfeited by lying spirits when you are not following the precepts. If you decide not to follow the precepts long enough in various ways, you can actually start listening to deadly spirits and wrong spirits that wreck your life and wreck other people's lives, and you think that you're hearing from the highest spirit. This is one of the most horrible problems. Self-deception, deceived, clueless, prideful, and lazy. These are the issues we're going to address. If this is interesting to you, come to Bartow courageously. Stand with us. I promise no great supply, just barely enough for today. I promise no, opulent atmospheres, but I do promise a clear grip on all of the details of the requirements and the listening to the highest spirit, which is the good news. We receive direct guidance from the highest spirit guide. That's good news. We receive the spirit that overcomes death and gives us power to drive out troubling spirits, to heal the physical body, to speak directly out of the heart of the highest spirit, to speak right out of God's heart, so to speak, in order that we serve and help and give good cheer to people. Power over spirits, power to heal the physical body, power to speak right out of God's heart, and power to have a surprise language that is multifaceted, including when it's being used, it strengthens and clears your mind and your emotions and your willpower for action. So, that's what's going on here. If you're curious, if your life feels like it's on the edge, if depression and suicide are some of your friends, if unclean depression and suicide spirits are near you, come here and we will stand with you and help you evaluate how you can move forward with strength, and also wish that you had a couple more lives to live because finally you get it. Woo! 3 chairs.